Hello everyone, my name is Branton, and welcome to the Advanced Tactics tutorial. Are you tired of dying in every invasion? Are you interested in getting good? Well, this is the tutorial for you. In this video, I will show you advanced tactics on how to be an unstoppable invader, with information on spacing, control, and much, much more. Thanks for watching, and enjoy. This is one of the strongest builds to date and will maximize your wins. And be sure to never forget Tears of Denial, one of the strongest spells for any invader. So here, I'm going to go look for the host. Of course, the best, most important thing to do in any invasion. So, as we wait, we will see that I am preparing myself mentally before I go in. And I'm always looking around to make sure that there is no hidden opponents. One of the main things. So now, I spot my prey. The most important thing now is to space properly. What I'm doing now is harassing. I am letting them know that I'm here. I'm not running away like most people do. And when they see me, they come in. They have the pack mentality. So my first victim is coming right in. So I turn around and turn and burn right there. And at that point, I space properly and I make sure that I avoid every single attack that they do and take a minimal amount of damage. So he rolls in trying to attack me. I also avoid the attack. Make sure I always space properly. One of the most important things. I toss a Hunter Charm, and the white Phantom gets hit by it. Exactly. So he tries to circle around. I make sure that I avoid the hits and avoid everything that they do. So the yellow comes in. So does the host, but they back off because I'm using the Turtle Man to my advantage here. And the next thing that I will do is go back to the weakest link. I saw that he was hiding, and now I'm going to go in for the kill. So I get one. And then the next step to heal up, make sure I get my Estus maxed out. You want to maximize your efficiency here. And then go in for the hit and back off. See, the most important thing is don't fall in for the trap. Never get in too close. So I get hit there trying to space properly and trying to harass, but that's not a problem because I have 30% roll on this build. So here I go in for the parry, get the parry, but did not get the riposte because of the lamp stopped me. So they come in, and I'm trying to avoid everything they do. I space properly. The most important thing right there is the space. I went in for the R1 spam there because in all reality, I knew that they were going to try to attack. Now it's just me, the host, and another invader. Here I will go for roll catches. Roll catches is one of your most important tools to catch a running host. So here I stagger my attack, stagger my attack, stagger my attack, chase him down. He heals. I go for 2 hits. Now I go in for the roll catches again. He tried to parry, didn't get the parry. Now, and complete. For this invasion, you will see that I'm going to utilize my space and the proper way to move in and move out and avoid getting hit by countless people. So there, I get the first Phantom instantly, and I make sure that I'm running towards the host. I need to apply the pressure as soon as possible. So I mapped out and saw exactly what's going on. I tried to harass there, didn't get the follow-up. So what I did was I went in for the kill on the white. So I went on the kill for the white Phantom, and, I took in the hits there. I was okay with the trade because I know I do more damage. So I go in for the heal, and after that, the host comes in. I didn't let him get me. I go in for the turn and burn right away. Make sure you don't let them hit you as much as possible. Try to avoid everything. There, I made my space. I try to harass. I want them to come to me. I want them to play into my game, not the other way around. So I saw the white coming in, and then I go in for the kill right there. You see that? So at that point, I made sure that I wasn't going to be in a bad situation. And with this build, I do have 30% roll, so they cannot catch me most of the time. So a blue comes in. We do have another invader buddy here helping us out. The host does lag a little bit here. But at this point, I knew I'm going to have the host. No problem. So I go in for the roll catches. Even though that he is lagging, I still know the timing for roll catches, and that is something that you need to utilize. So here, he's going to go for the heal. I'm going to go in for the R1s, of course. And at this point, I saw him, he was going to go for the running attack, so I went in for the trade. I made a mistake there, but I'll just heal up, force him to come to me, avoid the attack, going for the 2 R1s into R2 combo, and that is a death right there. Beautiful invasion. Here, we will demonstrate the pack mentality and why, when there are more than one Phantom with the host, they will be attacking like crazy. That's something that you need to utilize and need to take full advantage of when you see a group of 3 phantoms with the host. So a total of 4 attackers. So here, I see them right away. I spot my prey. I go in for the harassment, make sure that they are going to come to me. I want to bother them. I want to waste their time, right? So they're coming in. They're trying to run in because they want to attack me because they know the meat grinder is very strong. They want to get me as soon as possible. So they're trying to stay together as a pack. So I stay in harassing. I make sure that I pay attention to all characters. So at this point, I back off because all 4 of them are coming in. They are focused on me now. So you want to make sure that you want to see where their focus is at all times. So here, I keep harassing. I use the NPCs as my friend here. And the host is growing some very big cojones, if you know what I mean. And, you know, that is the pack mentality. He thinks that he is unstoppable since he has 4 or 3 other phantoms with him. So at this point, look, the phantoms aren't even with him. So I'm taking full advantage of this, but I had to back off because I did get hit and the other phantom did come in. So at this point, I go in. The yellow phantom is at a very bad point right now. He is in between me and the hard place, if you know what I mean. Almost had him there, but the white phantom helped him out, so I had to run, had to back off. Never want to take unnecessary risks. So this phantom tries to come in and tries to solo me, thinking that he's gonna have me, but he goes in for the parry. Did not let him. I go in for the R2, you know, R2 after the 2 R1s. You know, didn't let him. And then at this point, the host, you know, like I said, the pack mentality is something very important to take note of when you do see a group of 4 people. And at this point, you know, I did notice that the host was going in for running R1s with a weapon that you should be doing running L1s. So at this point, you know, just proper spacing, moving around, avoiding the two hits, you know, with the big weapons, and then trying to get as much hits in as I can, and staying at the proper distance to not get meat grindered. So avoiding, making sure to make my space. You know, never running too far. I want them to see me. I want them to know where I am, and I want to know where they are at all times. So, you know, a very important thing that I like to do is always have a headset so you can hear people walking up behind you. That is something very important. I know a lot of Call of Duty players use this trick, and to hear people coming at you. And so this Phantom gets brave. You know, we try to go for parry fishing at this point, you know, because there's a lot going on. So I'm trying to avoid, you know, I don't want to be in a place where they can surround me, so I'm trying to get closer to another group. So this yellow Phantom trying to stop me, I didn't allow it. And then we had this, you know, white Phantom trying to stop me as well. So they all come in, you know, which is a very bad move on their end. They're all chasing me because they think they got me. At this point, I'm just making sure we space, and then we got lucky. Another invader came in. So at this point, I'm going to take out this this white Phantom here. He's going to R1 spam me. And this other Phantom hit him with, you see, the R1, R1, R2 combo. Very amazing combo with a straight sword. So at this point, let's go back and get the host. And so I hit him from the stairs. There's a very nice sweet spot that you can actually attack someone from a higher ground. So I'm going to chase down the host here. And trying to go for roll catches. He is healing on me. I'm trying to avoid the white Phantom. Moving in, moving out. Trying to get away. The white Phantom got me. I tried to go for a parry there. Missed the parry. And at that point, the invader buddy killed another Phantom. So I did get my guard broken there. And I got lucky that Tears of Denial did not pop. So the invader buddy is actually really good. Here I get the parry into the riposte. And this is a one-shot on this Phantom. Easy. And the other invader killed the host. No problem, because he was focused on me. So that was another excellent invasion. And help with your invader buddy. Now we are going to demonstrate on how to, you know, this is going to be a fail clip on what I did wrong as far as, you know, falling for the opponent's trap and going into their strategy and instead of letting them come into my strategy. This is a very excellent way. This was a one-on-one fight as well, but the opponent got into my head and I started playing into his game. So you will see here that I go in, you know, in my head I'm always expecting more than one player, but here I saw there was one player. So I'm gonna go in. I saw, you know, right away I always try to go for harass. I make sure that they know I'm here, but I am gonna do a fatal mistake here, and I'm gonna play into his game instead of have him play into my game. So I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna try to go for the attacks. You know, this host was actually very smart. You know, trying to do the elevator tricks here. I kind of had a feeling that he was gonna go for it. He's delaying his R1s as well. You know, I went in for the attacks here. He didn't roll. But now he's trying to avoid me. He's going to go for the heal instantly. A very smart play on his end. And I keep going to him instead of have him come to me. That is a very, very bad flaw. And now that I go in, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to try to catch me with some more elevator shenanigans here. And I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to stay away from the area so I don't fall down. So he's going to go down. I'm going to go follow him. You see, I go back into him, and then we do trade hits there. And then here, I try to go for the parry. I miss the parry, and then I get hit. And then I went in for that, and he hit me with the shock bow. Not the shock bow, the splinter arrows. And that actually got me there, and I couldn't do nothing about it. That's a perfect example of playing to your opponent's hand. For this invasion, something very unique happened, which is something that is a usual occurrence as a Twitch streamer. You will see that a host summons in a red phantom instead of a white phantom, and what that does, it actually holds in the invader slot, so there will be no other invader that is able to come in at this point. So you will see very soon. So I get surprised that I do see a red phantom, you know, thinking that he's an invader that's going to be on my side, correct? So I go in. I'm you know, always looking around, making sure that I check my surroundings, and then I hear the host. You know, that's pretty much saying like, hey, I'm over here, right? So I see this this red phantom, and I'm assuming it's an invader, but I didn't know at first. And then I realized it as soon as he started running towards me and started switching weapons. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tear this guy apart. So I'm doing my spacing properly, and I noticed that he's going for a specific style that I like to see, which is backstab fishing style. So he's going to go in, he's going to try to run around me. There's a very small space where he can run. So what I do is I wait so he can't get the backstab on me. There's a nice little trick you can do with small shields or any shields, and I always avoid it. You see, he's trying to run to this perfect sweet spot where you can get a backstab. So I'm not letting him do it. I'm always spacing, making sure to space properly is the very most important thing as an invader. Don't get hit. He's always trying to do the backstab shenanigans on me. I noticed he was going to be like that as soon as I saw him play a specific way. When you're going for a lot of spaghetti stepping and backstepping and stuff like that, and rushing towards your opponent with your shield up, I know that you're going to be playing the backstab fishing game. And he's trying to be really extra fancy, which was very pointless. No need to be fancy like that. And I have a good friend of mine. His name is the Silent Idol. He's excellent at doing backstabs. And if he can't backstab me, this guy's nowhere near going to be able to backstab me. So he's trying to go for parries. I'm going to try to roll catch him, not allowing him. I always pay attention to see where the host was. The host was not with us, so now we're alone, me and this guy. He's trying to run past doing the backstab shenanigans, not letting him, trying to avoid it. And, you know, I'm taking minimal damage here. But I'm going to make sure that I will never let him get the backstab on me. And the way you do it is to, as soon as he passes your sprite at one specific point, is make sure you roll away so he cannot backstab you. So we're going in. He's switching between a rapier and a Mirakumo, which is something that a really good friend of mine, like I said, the Sound Idol, he's very good at this type of play style. So they're trying to pincer attack me here. I go towards one side. I go towards the weakest link, which is always the Phantom, the one with the less HP. And, you know, I do get hit a couple times here. You know, I'm trying to avoid, make sure that I you know, get away from this place. This is a very bad spot to fight. You don't want to be surrounded. You always want to make sure that you have an exit route. Always plan out your escape. So here, they chase me down because, you know, they feel that they have a better chance of getting me. You know, it is 2 versus 1. So at this point, I'm going to do a turn and burn here and catch them. You know, trying to avoid the hits. I do get hit by the host here, and I do get hit by them here as well. So at this point, I'm going to make sure that I R1, R1, R2, one of my favorite combos in this game with the Lothric Knight Straight Sword. And now it's me and the host. I go in for the parry, and that is it. Beautiful invasion there. Never fall for anybody's shit. For this invasion, I'm going to be displaying how to see the weakest link and how to capitalize on the most important thing, and that is whittling down your opponents. So here, right away I go in, and I see 2 phantoms right away. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and harass them. So right here, you know, I try to psych them out, and right away I see this yellow phantom using a great shield and trying to block off my escape route. There was actually 2 more escape routes, so I wasn't worried about that. And that was a very bad mistake on their end, and they have a mage as well. Something that you need to do is apply pressure on the mage. So right away, I'm trying to stop the mage from, you know, shooting at me, trying to avoid using my my headset as a key indication. I do get hit there, but I do try to avoid. I tried to S this there, but I got my blue shiv. So I tried to parry here, but for some reason it whiffed, and I go straight into, you know, the yellow phantom here and take him out with a shield break with my straight sword, and take him out with a riposte. That was the weakest link right there, so I went for him right away. He wasn't attacking me, so I'm going to wreck his face in. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the mage, because they can really do a lot of damage to you, so you need to avoid them. So I just R1 spammed him, knowing he's going to try to attack me, because they got that pack mentality. So now it's just me and the host. And I'm going in, you know, trying to get the host. He's trying to roll away. He's trying to wait out and trying to summon more buddies. So now we're going to go in for some roll catch happiness here. So I'm going to chase him down. He doesn't go for the heal. You know, always apply the pressure. Pay attention to what they're doing. See how they react. And always watch out for an attack. So at that point, you can go for a parry or you can dodge away. So he's trying to run away because he does want to summon more people. See, going for the trade. And that's a wrap.
So, Brenton, I know that you said that, you know, 30% roll and whatnot, but what about not 30% roll? What about mid-roll? Is there a different way to play? I bet there is. Why don't you show them how it's done, Brenton? I know you're the best, and you will show them exactly how to be the best invader they ever can be. Let's do it.
Now for this clip, I'm going to be demonstrating on how to avoid with a mid-roll instead of a 30% fast roll. So you're going to have less distance covered when you do roll. So I do have a little bit of heavier armor. I am towards the 69% carry capacity, or equip burden as they call it. And here, right away, I try to go in and try to find the host. I saw the Phantom sitting on the bridge. I always want to avoid trying to get plunging attack there. I do see the host up here. I just saw, you know, his head sticking over the stairs right there. So I go in for the attack and try to apply pressure right away, even though that I don't have the fast roll. So here, I'm going to try to time my rolls perfectly so I can stay at a perfect distance. When you do not have a 30% roll, it is very difficult to just spam roll away. So you're going to have to time your rolls efficiently and make sure you manage your stamina very smart. So I'm trying to separate them. This Phantom is trying to avoid my parries because he does see I have a parry shield. So what he wants to do is avoid getting, you know, pretty much reaction parried because of the weapon he's using. So I'm going in. They're trying to harass me. I'm trying to avoid. He's going for the same thing. So I space properly, going for the R1, R1, R2 combo. The R2 misses. I chase down. I make sure I apply the pressure. I try to go for the backstab. Didn't connect. And I'm trying to avoid the host at all costs so I can get the Phantom. So I can have the host all to myself. So after that, I'm just trying to pressure the Phantom as much as I can so he can avoid, so I can avoid him from healing, you know. And so I go in, I'm trying to apply the pressure, I'm avoiding the host, and I'm doing this mostly by sound. So I hear where the host is. I do get hit here because I did roll into that attack. So you know, I kind of got mad at him. I threw a bomb. You know, you want to get into your opponent's head. So I rush in to the white. I want to kill him first. Want to get him out of the way so I can have the host to myself. So he goes in, he tries to go for, you know, blocking with the shield. So what I do is I R1 spam him because I want him to play to my strategy. So I guard break him just by R1 spamming with my dark longsword, or my dark Lothar straight sword, and then I do the riposte on him. So the host goes in, I go for the backstab on the host because he did make a mistake going in for the weapon R twice on me. I go in for the plunging attack here, but I do miss because he did get up in time. So I chase the host down. He's trying to run away because most hosts do run away unless they are very good players. But most new players and most hosts that, you know, are playing with their buddies, they do run away because they're not PvP players. So I go in for the plunging attack there. Don't run from an invader if you don't have an escape plan. He should have turned and fought here, but he didn't. He's going for the heals. So I'm going for the same R1, R1, R2 combos, and I'm going to try to finish him off here. So he's going to, go in for the running R1 attack, and that's a wrap. In this invasion is, you know, something that I did very wrong here was also play into my opponent's strategy instead of have them play into my strategy. So I went in, and I know for a fact for this invasion, if I had 30% roll, I would have been able to avoid a lot of the hits that I did take. So here, these group of players were actually a very smart group of players. They had a mage. They also had a healer, which the yellow Phantom was actually a healer. And they also have a host, you know, trying to avoid me directly. So this Phantom was actually pretty smart. They're using snap freeze as well, trying to space me out properly. They're not letting me get close, right? They're not letting me harass them at all. So I'm trying to wait for the snap freeze to finish. I go in, and this Phantom times his Crystal Soul Spear perfectly and chunked me for almost half my health. So I go back in. I'm trying to harass them, but they're not giving me a chance, right? They're applying a lot of pressure. They have a lot of ranged spells, and the way to avoid something like this, I enjoy having the light roll because you can cover distance way more and you can avoid things a lot better. But for some reason, when I do have a mid roll, it's actually very hard to do anything. And then we do have this invader buddy with us, but this invader does not help us at all. That is something that, that's the reason why I did make this video, is, to avoid running invaders like that. You see, that invader was a pyromancer, so he could have stayed close, and he could have helped me out as far as, using his ranged abilities to stop them from forcing themselves on me. Like, this other invader disappeared completely. So I'm trying to avoid getting hit by all the bombardment of ranged attacks, so I healed up. I tried to go for the parry there, but I actually blocked too late, and I had my guard broken. So I tried to run. I tried to go back. But at this point, I'm playing to their strategy. They have me on the tip of their finger, as they say, So I'm going in, and the other invader dipped out. Like, he's totally gone. He's not applying distance pressure on them. And I'm going back in because I'm not someone to run away. So I go in. I try to apply pressure on the mage and the healer. So I go in, and so the healer is running instantly. He's doing very well. I almost roll caught him there, and his mage buddy got me with another Crystal Soul Spear. And at that point, they're staying very well grouped together. And the way I could have beat this is, if with 30% roll, I would have been further away from those hits, and I wouldn't have got hit by the mage's greatsword as well. And I do get hit again because of the roll. So this is a perfect display of, when you do play at this type of high level, at meta level, as they say, it is very hard to avoid a very good group of players with a mid roll. So you want a light roll to avoid the bombardment of ranged attacks and the R1 spamming that they will do on you as they get close. Here I was wondering if the simple Cestus worked as a Sun Princess ring, where you can spam it and it will regen your FP like how your HP gets regen from the Sun Princess, but that wasn't the case. So I switched it back, and I just go back to my parry shield. And again, the other invader is nowhere to be found. Like, there's a purple invader in here, not even anywhere near. He could have been launching fire bombs at these guys, or anything like Chaos Bad Vestiges. But I'm the only one here. And that's something that you really need to take into consideration when you're invading with another invader. You have to help them. You have to play as though you are together on the same team, right? So I go in here. I ran out of Estus. I'm trying to, do as much as I can to avoid and try to actually kill someone. But I thought it was going to happen here, but then I started getting greedy. I wanted to go in and kill him, but I couldn't get him. And they also had a healer that could, heal their health right back to the beginning. That's a very good way. And he's using a greatsword, which is actually something that's very strong now with this latest patch. And I tried to go in for the trade here and get hit up. See, there was nothing I could have done there. Very good play. For this invasion, I'm going to show the proper way of moving around when you do have, more than 30% roll. So I'm going to go in at this point and be sure to get them where they are weakest. And that is the gullet. So we're going to go in. We're going to go look for the phantoms. Of course, I'm always looking to see if there is phantoms and hosts, because I do prefer being outnumbered. So I see them right here. So the ring knight is going to go in for them, and I'm going to harass them with lightning urns. So the yellow comes in because he feels that, they left the host alone because they think that they got me. So I go in. This phantom made a mistake. He wasn't fully healed up, and he came in for the attacks thinking that his buddy was going to help him. I did make a mistake and blocked here with low stamina. And I do get riposted with a guard break. But I do avoid the attacks, at the proper times here. So when you're fighting someone with the Ultra-greatsword, you do not want to trade with them because they will beat your attack every time. So you want to avoid, you want to space properly. I move in. I do mess up the timing of the roll there. I back off, and then I move back in. So he went in for the backstab. See, I tried to trade there. It didn't work out. in my favor. So at this point, I'm going to try to space him. So I was like, you know what? He's timing his attacks really well. So let's go ahead and space my attacks properly. Back off. You see right there, it was perfect spacing. I did the R1, R1, R2 combo there, and then backed off. So there's a little trick that you could do. If you time your attack fast enough with a straight sword, you can beat an Ultra-greatsword with one attack and still have time to roll away. So the host went running, so I'm going to go chase down the host because he did see his phantoms died, so now he's going to try to resummon his phantoms like most hosts do. So he's sitting here doing chameleon, thinking that I'm running away or something like most invaders do. He was trying to find the pot or something. He couldn't find it, so I go in, and now he is a little bit laggy. I went in for the parry, and that should be the game right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
So, Brayton, you know what? I actually like big weapons. You know, the bigger they are, the harder they hit, right? So that's something I want to do. Is that something you know how to do? You know, why don't you teach everybody how to use the big ultra-great weapons? You know, how to do the evasions like that. Well, let's show them how it's done, Brayton, because you were the bestest, and you'll show them exactly how you can do it. Thank you.
So, with this new build that I will display for you today, this is a 66 strength build using the Lothric Knight Ultra-greatsword. The Lothric Knight Ultra-greatsword is one of my favorite Ultra-greatswords in the game, and with this build, it's not necessary to have a light roll, because with a big weapon, you want them to come to you, and you want to be as close as possible to them. You want to trade with every opponent that you come across. So, like I said, always have Tears of Denial on every single build. I don't care what it is. If you're invading, you need to have Tears of Denial, or you're going to be meat grinder, and it's going to be easy kill for them. So, right away, I do spot my victims, and I go in. The Yellow Phantom does have a katana. That's something you do have to watch out for. Don't run away too much when you are fighting against people with katanas. So I see the white. Right away, I divide and conquer. So I saw them dividing. I don't know what this white was doing. Probably menu swapping thing that was going to chase him. And I just hit him with 2 attacks with the Lothric Knight Ultra-greatsword, and it's an instant death. And also, again, the yellow was trying to trade with me, which is a very bad move when somebody's using Ultra-greatsword. It is also a slow weapon, so it's hard to catch your opponent. So I switched to my straight sword just so I can apply the pressure a lot easier because he is trying to run away. When somebody's running, it's a lot easier to catch him with a straight sword, so I did get the roll catch there. And then, you know, you always want to have a fast weapon when you're using a heavy weapon, just in case your opponents do run. You're not going to be catching people with an Ultra-greatsword if they are running. So the host made a bad mistake and cornered himself. So I just go in with my Ultra-greatsword, and I just start swinging at him. And it does so much damage with a lightning bundle that's just GG right there. In this invasion, I was in a very unfortunate spot. I spawned right in front of these guys. So I started running, you know, I wanted to make some space so I can cast my Tears of Denial, make sure that I do not get meat grindered up. So I turn around, I make sure that I swap up, I put my Hornet Ring on. Always have to have a Hornet Ring and Tears of Denial for every single invasion, because you want those criticals to do more damage. So they chase me down, they have the pack mentality. They also have a mage hitting me from the outskirts. And this is a very bad mistake that a lot of gankers do, is they attack like crazy because they see you that you're outnumbered, so they just come in like maniacs, right? And the host gets demolished by this NPC. Tries to run away, he starts lagging, I chase him down. And then I also see the mage, he got the ring knight. So I chase the mage down. I always want to get rid of mages as quick as possible. I get hit a couple times here, no big deal. I do have some Havel armor on, which is the best armor in the game as far as poise and just overall defense. The host comes in, trying to trade with the Ultra-greatsword user. That doesn't work out in his favor. The mage comes jumping in, thinking he's Superman, and then he's ended.
So, Brayton, now what I want to know is what's the strongest and most powerfulest build that ever existed in the lands of the Dark Souls? I wanted to know what is the best. I know I've heard this guy, his name is Obamoro or something like that. I heard he has this thing called the Dark Moonblade. Is that true? Tell me, is that true?
Yes, it's true.
Alright, well, you show me the Dark Moonblade to sell swords, and then show me and tell me what's the best. Here is the build.
Now, for these weapons, there's not much to say other than they are super OP. So, the Stealth Sword, Twin Blade, with Dark Moonblade combo is one of the best things in this game. It's so hard to beat this setup because you're chunking people for so much health. And the way I have it set up is with the Pontiff. I think it's the left eye. It's the one that does more damage with consecutive hits. I forget. They're all the same to me. And I use the Old Wolf curve sword, which adds the same type of effect. And you just pretty much melt your opponents when you do have this build. It was hard to collect footage as far as getting this build together as far as advanced tactics, because all you have to really do is space properly and run in and just make sure you don't die. So in this case, I just make space and you know, try to cast my spells. And yeah, it's very, very strong. The people get so scared when you start melting them. So one tactic that you should use when you do use this build is don't waste your buff. You want to be as close as possible to your opponents before you start buffing. This guy had no chance to survive. I go running in, and at this point, I try to collect and get as much data on my opponents as possible. This guy's trying to hit me. I'm not gonna let him. I'm just gonna keep whittling him down, getting every opportunity I can. Even trading doesn't matter. You're gonna be doing way more damage almost at every single instance. So now I'm gonna go chase down the host. The host is not gonna be able to survive this, pretty sure. So I'm gonna go running in. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna reapply the buff, because that's something that's the most important with this build. If you do not have the buff, you can still do decent damage, but you're not gonna be one-shotting your opponents as often. So that's something that you need to take into consideration when you are using a build like this. So the more consecutive hits I do, the more damage I do. So I just going for the trades on this guy. Like, the amounts of damage are ridiculous that you can get with this. He can't do anything. I'm not even gonna, even if you heal, that is the perfect point where you can get your combo off. So healing is not always advised when you are facing someone with the Dark Moon Sellsword Twin Blade combo. So for this clip, let us go ahead and move on and see what the exact movements I did in this clip were. So I'm gonna go search for the host here. I'm pretty sure that he's gonna be another clip with melting the faces in of my foes. Yeah, this has been a strong build since Dark Souls 1. Just having Dark Moonblade, or even yeah, I think this is actually the this is actually me messing up and falling to my opponent's trap. So they both had katanas. So at this point, I tried to go in, and I made a lot of mistakes here. I was getting hit by everything. I tried to attack, and they were getting me every time. They stayed together very well. One had a washing pole, one had the frayed blade. I messed up there. I got stuck on the bonfire. One of the most important things is always map out where you're going. I mistimed my heals here as well, and bad rolling times because I was panicking. The most important thing is to never panic. Even if you have a strong build like this, panicking is your worst enemy. Okay, and always, you see that Tears of Denial, every single build. I don't care, even if you have a Sorcerer. Tears of Denial is one of my favorite builds. I hear the opponents here, so I cast my Dark Moonblade, and I go in. I see the guy with the dagger. I'm like, you know what? This guy's about to get tore up. So I just started doing running R1s, or running L1s into his face, and then I got the roll catch. There's a specific timing on roll catches there, and it's not very difficult, but you can get him every time. So this host tries to swing on me. I'm not going to go for trades on him because I know he's going to do more damage than I will. So at this point, I'm just trying to space, trying to apply pressure, always paying attention as I'm running towards my opponent to see if they're swinging. See, got the combo off there. Did about 80% of his health. Then I go running in. He goes for the heal. I go for the combo. I just go for 2 hits there because I was low on stamina. Want to make sure you manage your stamina. I got the roll catch there. Got the roll catch there. And that's a wrap. Hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Love, peace, and chicken grease.